Well, we are live tonight on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I said I'd get Kaiser on. Kaiser, welcome to the show. A bit of a change for yourself. Usually you're sitting there watching it,
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
the
hell yeah,
comments flowing
legend.
in.
Yeah,
Kaiser's from
thanks.
a Celtic world, folks. So you're certainly welcome in. We're going to have loads to talk about tonight, man.
Yeah, yeah, bro. Thanks for having me. First and
I,
foremost, all the
I
legends in
know.
chat as well. Please have a bit of patience with me. First time
Yeah.
doing this with Keith, but looking forward to it, bro.
Oh God. Well, that was a weird game, wasn't it? I feel it. And some a part of me is like the performance was absolutely dire. It was like a losing performance. It feels
hmm
like, but it's 3 big points, 3 big points. And you know yourself, you're gonna get everyone on social media still saying, "Keep the faith, keep going. We're still gonna win this league." But we're like, it's digging these results out. We're looking at teams that are going to Easter Road and winning 3-0. St. Mirren, and there's us scraping her in.
hmm I think these teams set up very differently when they're playing each other as they do when they're playing against us. You know what I mean, Keith? We always encounter
Hmm.
that low block. Encouraging things about tonight's game. Idah looked very encouraging, finding the ball, winning, making space. Looks like, of course, he needs to develop. You know what I mean? I know that's not what we need to hear. We're looking for these finished articles to be there, these players to come right in and improve the squad. I think Idah is improving us with sheer physicality and pace in the forward area. Seen him step up and remain cool tonight. I'm sure we'll talk about that as well, Keith, mate. I'm encouraged by his display. Also encouraged when Kyogo came on, the hunger that he showed, driving from slightly deeper, not too far deep, you know what I mean? Not dropping way to the halfway line to take 2 touches and be ineffective as a striker. Just slightly deeper, slightly in that number 10 role, which I thought he played well when he came on. We needed a change, you know what I mean? We were very, very stale, very flat.
What did you rate of Bernabei's performance?
Bernabei had one of those performances. I always look at him right, and I'm like, it's that you're peeking at him from behind the couch, aren't you? You're looking at him through the fingers. You know what I mean, Keith? You're
Hmm.
expecting him to do something insane, and every now and again he has little flashes of play that seems to allude to him developing into some sort of player. Exactly what sort of player he is, I don't have a clue. Is he a winger? He's certainly not a defender. I know that. He doesn't have the aptitude to defend.
Hmm.
Too often he's found missing in action. The ever present Liam Scales. I mean, the guy's playing 2 positions. If he goes up for Player of the Year, we need to put him up for it twice. One for centre back on the left hand side, and one for covering left back. Certainly when Taylor goes missing in action, and Bernabei there now as well. He's just covering that position constantly.
But the concerning thing was, right, we didn't really test the keeper much besides the penalties. I know we hit the crossbar and he
hmm
flagged it up for offside. We didn't actually test the keeper much in the game. It reminded me of the Aberdeen game all over. Had a lot of possession the first half, and when it came down to the second half, it was just you had a feeling that Hibs was going to come back and get a goal against us.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a very optimistic person. You know what I mean, Keith? Always looking at the positive side of things. Like for instance, when we were encountering these low blocks, teams entrenched on their 18-yard box, I was speaking to my own friends in group chats and saying, "Well, look at one of the greatest club sides ever formed. And that would be Barcelona. And look at them when they came and played against us and encountered a low block against us. Even they ran out of ideas eventually. You know, they got the feeling it wasn't going to be their night." And teams just seem to be camping in and sitting in against Celtic and bringing that feeling of it's not going to be our night, almost lulling us to sleep by the 60th minute. And then they come out of the cages like some sort of rabid dogs and they're ready to go at it. And our team just
Hmm.
seem to not raise the level. It's like what have you? It's like the a fighter who gets a knockdown. Like sometimes you see that in a fight, the fighter's winning the fight, he knocks the guy down, and he sort of thinks the fight's over, and he withdraws himself for the fight, and it's very
Hmm.
hard to put yourself back in that fighting mode again. I kind of get a sense in that with the youth in the squad, we've just not got that killer instinct, that dogged attitude to go for the throat and just keep shaking. You know what I mean, Keith? Just keep on going till the final whistle.
I think we're lacking leaders in that team, or lacking that, as I said, I know we're lacking the we never stop factor with some of the players.
hmm
It just look like they're burned out. It looks like they don't know what their instructions is, how they're going to get the ball, how they're going to take a player on. Some players are lacking that confidence, and the people in the comments saying like the manager has to take a blame as well for this. At the end of the day,
Mm,
the football's not comprehensive. You should have given the hairdryer treatment after that
mm.
game on Saturday against Aberdeen. You look at the game at Celtic Park against Ross County, it was the same situation. Absolutely dire. Only one for down to a deflection shot. And the, the evidence is there. I know there's a lot of fans that will back and say we'll go all the way, we'll win the league, but the evidence is there that Celtic teams will take it to Celtic in the second half and will crumble. And we
Yeah,
got
yeah,
out of jail.
exactly.
We got out of jail tonight. We got out of
Yeah,
jail
hundred
against Ross
percent.
County, and yeah, but we'll turn up against Rangers for the two games. But it's we don't want
It's
to
got
be.
it's
There
got to
has to
that
be
stage.
that has to be a
Sorry, Keith,
comfortable
bro.
win in there. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, it's kind of got to that stage where it's got us all looking for between the lines. It's got us looking at Callum McGregor and rubbing our chin and going, do you really have the qualities of a leader? Now, I know there's different types of leaders, and he certainly has qualities in his leadership skills as Celtic captain, but there's leaders for times of peace, and then there's leaders for times of war. Is Callum McGregor really that leader? And then you look at the squad and how we moved in the window in January, or the lack of movement, and you look at Brendan and you go, is Brendan really the boss? Is he really the man to take us forward? Anything, I was being optimistic and looking at maybe the bigger picture and saying an inactive January could leave us open to vast improvements.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the Champions League that we may or may not qualify for now, that could leave us open to vast improvements in the squad in the summer. And then I'm looking at Brendan and I'm going, do I really want his football, even with vastly improved players? Do I really want to put my money in this man's hand and be like, sure, Brendan, you go out there and facilitate 40, 30, whatever, 50, 60 million, whatever the board, as we all know, they're tight as a dolphin's bum cheeks, watertight, but whatever they
Mm-hmm.
decide to put out, are we really, is Brendan really the man to invest that money? Scott's asking a lot of questions that really we shouldn't be asking. The squad should have come out and gave us a performance tonight, capitalised on this sort of positive vibe that's grown out of nowhere. There's no reason for us to have it. The supporters just manufactured it on its own. And like, right, we're not going to be downtrodden. We're not going to let it disappoint us. We're going to be positive.
It,
You heard it
here's
in
the
the Lewis
question.
report.
Here's the question for you. Do you feel like we're playing like? Do you feel like we're playing like champions at the moment, even though we're top of the league?
I feel like digging a result out, right? You can say digging a result out when you don't deserve it is the mark of a champion. But I can thoroughly feel that the pendulum of momentum has shifted to where I am right now. I'm sitting in Ibrox, as you know, Keith, bro. So I feel like the pendulum has shifted, the momentum has shifted here. And realistically, right, we should be laughing at them. They, bloody manager, lost the plot in a television interview and then get sent off in a friendly. By all means, he's lost the plot, but we're not capitalising on that. We're that busy looking at our own house and trimming our own garden. That's the amazing thing about Celtic fans. You get me, Keith? The board can't point across the city and distract us with illusions. You know what I mean? We keep our own garden
They
tidy. We
done
look at
they
our own
done in
house
the
first.
they done in the AGM, but like slight digs at them and whatever. But at the end of the day, like losing the Kilmarnock away twice is embarrassing. I know Killy
Mm-hmm,
actually are doing decent this season in the
mm-hmm,
top six.
mm-hmm,
Losing the Hearts at home, that really showed the evidence there, especially going at them two goals at half time. You knew you just know. I don't know if majority of Celtic fans will agree. You just know going into the second half of games where we're at the conceding or it's 0-0, you just have a feeling that we're going to throw it away. It's not like
mm-hmm,
when we were under and you were like, oh, we're gonna go out, we're gonna get this last minute goal, or we're gonna get
mm-hmm,
this two or three. And I know the momentum has shifted, and it is a title race. It just we shot ourselves in the foot by letting them back into it. On top of it, as you said, not investing in the squad, not putting the money in, and maybe spending 10 to 12 million. I know there's talks of at the end of the season, we could actually potentially get Idah if Idah plays well, and if Norwich wants to make an agreement, we could get Idah for 3 million, and then Bernardo's an obligation to boy of 6 million.
mm-hmm.
I just don't have that confidence in the team. I don't have that confidence in the board that they're ambitious about how serious this Champions League, how serious this league trophy is this season.
100%, Keith. Right? It's like even right, Idah right now has came here, and I don't know. I believe for Norwich, he had something like 125 appearances, scoring
Hmm.
17 times. So already he's had 2 appearances for us, and he's scored 2 goals. Both of them might be penalties, but he's certainly like upping his standard. Having a player at our club who we are improving, enhancing his reputation, enhancing his skill, giving him game time, and not having a loan with a direct option or obligation to buy is insane, because you leave his parent club to then look at his performances for your club and then set the price. So whatever price people are saying right now, 2, 3, 4 million, that's kind of like strange, because Norwich are going to look at his performance between now and the end of the season, how much we relied on him, and they're going to set the price. They could go back and say 7, 8 million. We don't know at this point.
Yeah, because for example, if touch wood it doesn't happen, what if we lose this league? They might turn around and say, "Oh, you can have him for 3 million if he goes on
Mm-hmm,
and scores arguably 12, 13 goals." And we've seen with the likes of Bellamy and Robbie
mm-hmm,
Keane and stuff like that, that coming in. They're not. Idah's not at that level yet. He's only 22, as you said. The holding up style of football tonight, he was brilliant. But he's like tracking down the ball was good, and his link up play with Maeda was good at times. My concern looking at that team tonight is I think Matt O'Reilly's form has dipped massively. I don't know if that's
mm-hmm.
just a case down to the transfer speculation that was hitting him last month with the links to Atletico Madrid, Inter Milan, clubs in England. I don't know if that just got to him, or is it a
Mm-hmm.
case that all the team around him are not playing and he just can't get out of that rut as well. And that's down to Brendan. He talks about his ethos of developing players and getting into his style of football. His style of football is being sussed. Come on, for God's sake, Hibs have been absolute dire at home this season.
Mm-hmm.
And for us to go there and just scrape a result, yes, you might say it's a sign of champions in a scrappy way, but at the same time, there has to be a momentum where you have so many shots on target. You say, well, fair enough, their keeper was good. He stopped us. David Marshall stopped us many a times, and we had a chance. We scraped it with 2 penalties tonight. And
Mm-hmm.
this is the type of thing, and I don't like comparing us. I really don't like comparing us, but I have to say, because I've seen a few people saying already, it feels like it was that's what the team in Ibrox have been doing for the last 2 or 3 years, scraping results by penalties.
Mm-hmm.
You want to win it the
Yeah,
hard
hundred
way,
percent,
not
bro.
not the VAR way of things. And just think about, imagine there wasn't VAR tonight, and um, Nick
Imagine,
Walsh,
imagine VAR.
Nick Walsh didn't give that free kick
Yeah, hundred
or give
percent,
that
Keith.
penalty.
Imagine VAR was the way VAR was when it was first implemented, and we had Ange saying, and some of the players saying it's Celtic versus the refs and the VAR team. Imagine it was that VAR team operating in that capacity right now. We would not be getting these decisions. I'm half surprised when we do get these decisions. When the
Hmm.
VAR kicked in and we got the Kyogo decision, I was pinching myself. I was like, I can't believe we've got this decision. Not because it wasn't a penalty, because I feel like Kyogo got his shot away and the player was late with the challenge, and we thoroughly deserved the penalty. It was a spot kick
We
all the way.
But let's be honest, we didn't deserve the win. I know it sounds. I don't. I
No,
know Celtic
100%,
fans.
Keith.
No, I know Celtic fans don't want to hear them words, but we didn't deserve the win tonight.
No,
We were dirt. But they should have been. They should have been up 3-1 at one point. Honestly,
it
they
had.
they had. It's just a case that they weren't complacent. A few shots went past went past the post. Joe Hart was there. Scales blocked that shot,
Mm-hmm,
and it was just a case where like we're getting exposed too easy. And I know people keep saying Carter Vickers, if we have Carter Vickers in the squad, we have to realise Carter Vickers is injury prone this season. And it breaks the heart saying that
mm-hmm.
because he signed a new long term deal. But Scales, as you
Happy
said, could
also.
be Scales could be the player of the season in regards to probably the best defensive player this
Mm-hmm,
season, because he's Carter Vickers only played 18 games and he's missed the big games, the derby games, the Atletico game and Lazio games. It's just the tactics are being sussed, and I think teams are going to expose us. I think they're going to have that mentality, like, you know what, let Celtic have a lot of the ball for the first half. Let us just park the bus. If they don't get chances on the
mm-hmm,
second half, we'll hit them with a counter attack, and it's worked. It's worked for
mm-hmm.
them.
Yes, it has, mate. I think
It's
a
gonna
lot of you.
this is it's gonna happen a lot this season. Mark
Yes,
my
it
words.
is. Hundred
As much as
percent,
I hate
Keith.
saying it.
I think a lot of it is as well, right? Ange, I hate harping back to the previous manager, right? But Ange's recruitment and the players he brought in were very much round pegs for round holes, if that makes any sense. The style of attacking football we were playing, the players were very much brought in to play that swashbuckling attacking football. And then Brendan coming in and trying to alter that to a more possession, retaining possession and utilising that. Maybe some of the players just don't have that to their game. You know what I mean? They look a bit lost, lacking direction. And as he says, we were all sitting in the first half of the season and thinking, it's been assessed, we're going to make moves in the January window. We're all sitting looking for that real light that's going to come for the squad and
I
inspire
think
us
we're all
forward.
sit.
We
I
just don't
think we're
see it
all
coming from
sitting.
anywhere.
I think we were sitting there at the end of October, feeling like we had one hand on the trophy. To be honest, I felt like that.
I felt like they were being consistent. You get me, Keith? They were consistently building and on their results. And every knockback they had, every time they had a poor performance, it seems to be like they don't get put under much pressure by the press and the media. It seems to get water off a duck's back. Let's move on to the next challenge. Whereas anything that goes on at our side of the city, because we are champions, it's under a microscope. It's thoroughly examined. Like they didn't use propaganda during the world wars as a means to influence the public for no reason. That's exactly what you're seeing here, as well as underperforming. The media are highlighting it and jumping right on it. And the discontent's growing in the support. People are unhappy with the way we're playing. But like, how is that going to help the players improve? How is that going to give them a shake and make them play better? The crowd cheering and the away fans being on board tonight, for me,
Yeah,
that
they
was
were
a breath of
fantastic
fresh air.
tonight. Yeah,
Yeah, they were fantastic, Keith. I think if it wasn't for them, the players wouldn't have kept digging. The only hope that I'm clinging to right now is this is a kind of a watershed performance where we kind of, I know I've said that
wake up.
several times, where we wake up, you know what I mean? It's a shake and wake, shake it to wake it, you know what I mean, Keith?
Well, we
Get
have
us
a
back in action.
difficult game on Sunday against St Mirren away in Paisley, so that's going to be a hard one to get. If it shows that the mentality is there, that Celtic are ambitious about doing the double this season and beating a difficult team that are doing well. They're like, I think they're fifth in the league, and St Mirren they're not strong in the park as we've seen already. Like fair enough, we beat them in the first week of January before we went on the winter break. But I've had someone mailing me tonight saying that I think the winter break has killed Celtic, killed the momentum because of the break, because of winning that derby, beating St Mirren, beating
And
Dundee, beating
that's interesting, Keith, right? Because I said the same thing, not as in the winter break has hampered us, but the lack of a squad training session within the winter break. See, like
we
that mini pre-season.
should have went to the boy or somewhere
Yeah.
like that.
See the players being scattered to the wind and just allowed to go their own way, while Brendan reportedly in Switzerland, but was probably in his own house in Mallorca or something, having a nice time and a bit of sangria. But he was in Switzerland resigning because he can't resign from Glasgow. I don't know where the strategy in that was, you know what I mean, Keith? But it was a report that was kicking around. I do believe letting the players go their separate ways. Okay, the Asia Cup was there and players were going to go to that. Dies in and stuff was going to be away. But just letting the players scatter to the wind and the lack of a cohesive training session in the winter, I don't know how that's affected the squad either. It seems to be negative because we're notorious for getting on a bit of a run after the winter break and really coming back strong. Celtic are notorious for that, but we don't seem to be coming back that way. We seem to be lining up in pre-season friendly formation. You know what I mean?
They think the job's done halfway through, folks. I just want to say, if you are on the Facebook channel or Facebook page tonight, please pop over to the YouTube and subscribe as well. I'm trying to get the 18,000 as well. So if you are on Facebook, jump over to the same name, come on the Hoop Celtic, and you'll have the stream there. That means you sub as well. We're going to look at the stats here, Kaiser. So this is the stats of the game. It did not feel like we had 3 shots. Well, fair enough, you hit the crossbar and then the 2 penalties. 67% possession. It did not feel like 67% possession, especially in that second half.
Possession is king, as they say, Keith. But when that possession goes nowhere, it is nothing other than possession. It needs to have that end result. You know what I mean? We need that cutting edge up front. We need this way to break down these teams.
It's even with the centre halves as well. You look at the centre half, Scales gets a lot of the ball, pushes up with a lot of the ball. Same with Welch. and it's like they're afraid to look for that. That because fair enough, the opposition's defense are parking the bus and they're making sure that nothing's getting through. But it's like they get 3 quarters of the pitch and like, oh, you know what, we're just gonna pass it over across to the wing
Mm-hmm.
backs and try make a break, and then we're
Yeah,
not utilising
100%.
the chance.
100%. It seems an ingrained way of playing. I think we were under the cosh. Like, I was impressed with Welsh in the beginning. I thought he was playing quite well. But when they came back into the game, then Welsh really faltered. I was like, the straw breaks the camel's back with Welsh, and it's Buckaroo. You know what I mean?
Mm.
He's just gone. And the Rocky coming on, I think he made a very positive influence when he came on at the back, and he solidified us. And I have been impressed with Naroki's passing from back to front. See when he decides to cut through midfield and pass it straight forward. I've seen us do that as well, Keith. Right, we don't do that enough. See, breaking the lines and passing the ball forward. Okay, a few
Hmm.
times when we did do it, the passes never really came off and the possession broke down, but it left us in a high part of the pitch, pushing the possession again. And it's just something we just don't see often enough this season. It's all very relaxed. Seems to be walking
It's like
football.
it's like we're in third gear when we get up that field. It's like it's not that pace
Mm-hmm,
that we had on the range where you can hit the wingers or the midfielders can pick up a few goals as well. Like we're
mm-hmm,
just desperate. We're desperate up front. Our attacking options is absolutely dire. I know. Idah scored the 2 goals tonight, but hopefully it kicks him off. That's a big statement for
mm-hmm,
him. Starting tonight, away a difficult place. Easter Road has been a difficult place for Celtic. That's Celtic's third win at Easter Road out of
mm-hmm.
12 chances. Like so,
And
it's as
that's
I said, this
massive
is
for
it,
Brendan to get that result as well, Keith. I think that's his first win at Easter Road.
exactly. And as much as we all want to sound like we're moaning and saying the football was brutal, it was a hard earned win, or it was utter shy. We got the 3 points. We could be sitting here now saying, Kaiser, how do you feel now? Or do you feel like we've actually given
Sorry.
them the league in some way?
I feel like there is time to concede things, right, Keith? And there is time to concede fights and there is time to concede battles. But this is not a time to concede nothing. You know what I mean? I do feel we have enough quality in this squad. If the support really
And get the
solidifies
injuries
behind
back
the
as well.
team,
The
yeah,
injuries as well.
the players coming back, CCV, and I keep calling for us to move the formation, Keith. Maybe just eliminate the left back position and play a 3-5-2. Play Scales on the left
Right.
hand side, CCV in the middle, AJ on the right, and even play Maeda as a wing back on the left and Ralston on the right as a wing back. One thing we know about Ralston is he'll bomb forward and he'll cross a
You see his
ball.
tackle tonight. His tackle was
Yeah,
cracking.
that side challenge was outstanding. But there
Mm.
was key things about the game, like little fights in the game where I look at them looking back in the game and go, do you know what? That was really dogged. That was what you wanted to see. And if we would have drawn the game tonight, I would have been very disappointed. There wouldn't have been enough there to look back and go, right, well, I can see the fight. We're up for the fight. But the fact that we got the result, I'm looking at little things throughout the game and going, well, that was good. It's shown signs of revival. You know what I mean? We're coming back. Are we building back? Are we going to start slowly and build the momentum here? Let's hope. You know what I mean, Keith? That's all we can do is live in hope. We got the
But like
win.
them players
That's what
should be
matters.
majority of that squad should be looking at what they accomplished last season. If these players want to, I know some of them are on long term deals, and
Mm-hmm.
long term deals in football doesn't mean nothing these days. It just means that puts the cash up in the value. If they want to be successful in their career and have a year or two at Celtic and get that big transfer to England,
Mm-hmm.
they have to turn up in games like this. They have to
Yeah.
get the late winners. We've seen it earlier on with Matt Roy. Some of the goals he scored this season away from home have been magical. And I'm concerned, as I said, I'm concerned about his form. I thought Bernardo battled quite well in the first half.
Mm-hmm. Well, as you were saying, sorry, Keith, about O'Reilly, I know a lot of people that say Matt O'Reilly has not kicked his ass since January. Basically
Mm.
since the option of the loan, or since the end of the Champions League, since we were eliminated for the Champions League proper, he's really he's played within himself. He's settled down. You know what I mean? And certainly since the offer that came in, maybe Matt O'Reilly's looking at that and thinking he could be sunning it up in Spain in title contention for Atletico Madrid instead of in a dogfight in Edinburgh on a winter's night.
But
But
that's the thing. You have your agent that could be talking to you in your
mm-hmm,
ear, even though you have to sign a long term deal. We see the strange things in football where, I
Agents
honestly
as
will.
well, Keith. Agents make money when you are
Yeah,
sold as a player. When they sell you, they make money. So it's not like the agent holds out your best interests. When he wants to make money and it looks like a deal comes up for you, he's going to force that through because he stands to profit. He stands to make money. You know what I mean? So I think the concept and the aspect of agents in football, well, they're very handy for players winning and earning moves. It's a very double-edged sword. You know what I mean?
that's it.
Agents, like we've seen with Lager Bielka right now, same agent as Starfelt. Celtic's standard scouting operation. Who's your agent? There you go, scouting complete. Lager Bielka gets brought in. Brendan doesn't see him as an option. Then you need to wonder why. Why was he brought in then? You know what I mean? Player of the year in Sweden, brought right in as Starfelt leaves. Same agent as Starfelt. We can all read between the lines. We know exactly what happened there. But I thought, like
We've been.
as I said,
He's
when Rocky came on, he played well.
Narosky. I think Narosky will take time to settle. I think there's been games where he looked actually quite like even when he was playing against Saint Mirren and when he came off the bench against Sefco, he looked like he looked comfortable. And let's be honest, he Bojang made a show of him again
Hmm.
when we were playing against Aberdeen, and that's it kills me to say that. I wish we signed him big time. I think we've missed an absolute gem there.
Keith, what age is Bojan? I believe he's 24, 25 years old.
20,
Is that
24, and he has that physicality. He's good at holding up the ball. He's a good
well?
finisher, and we could have
I
gotten.
understood Celtic fans saying, "Oh, this is the first season he's really came on form and started scoring like this." But you look at the qualities of the boy, picking the ball up midway in our half, driving it. One of the best defences in Scotland, certainly one of the strongest defences. We are the top club in Scotland. And okay, Naroki might not be first choice, but certainly a very strong player. The way he moved his body, sold the dummy, cut inside, and slotted it away. I was like, what is people's problem with this young guy? 4 million. What is people's problem? You know, what are they seeing that's lacking in him that I'm not seeing? Because he looks like a fantastic prospect.
Poor Alistair. He looks like he's
Good age,
infamous.
eh?
I hope it's not a bad concussion or anything like that, and I hope he's back in
Hmm.
contention. But I have to say, as Ralston stepped in tonight, and Ralston had that let's do it. Like some of the players didn't have that, and you know what? We need a
Hmm.
bit of more of that. We need a bit more experience. You need a bit of more. Like you know what? We've got the Hampden. We've won the Scottish Cup. We've won this league, and we have to
Hmm.
dig in because if you don't dig in and show the graph that they did last season or the season before we'll lose the title. We will lose the title. And as I said, I'm glad we're not coming on this moaning saying 3 points stumped. It was like, look, you've seen over the years, you've seen the likes of Manchester United. They scrapped wins in the Premier League,
Hmm.
penalties and goals and stuff like that, and they went on to win titles. And I'm hoping this is a kick up the arse for Brendan. It's a kick up the arse for Colin McGregor. It's a kick up the arse for the defence. The sooner the better. I know I can't. I used to absolutely hate this player a couple of years back, but I have to say he's really improved when under Ange, and I know he's played most games for Celtic this season. Sooner the better we get Taylor back, I'll feel more calm.
Hmm.
So we have Taylor. We'll have Taylor coming back. We'll have Atate probably back in about 5 weeks' time. I want to not rush Carter Vickers back. I think that's what's killing us. It's killing us twice this season. We've rushed him back, and he's back in
Hmm.
a week or two later.
Exactly, Keith, 110%. It's one of the things when you're looking at one of the things when I'm looking across the setup at Celtic, if you look at the board, they guys have got to be sitting in the office like something out of Transylvania, all
Hmm.
shaking each other's hands in a circle, going, "Look at the bank balance. Our stocks and shares are through the roof. We're doing a great job. How is this
Hmm.
job happening? Where is this money coming from?" And then they look at Peter Lawwell, who is some sort of independent entity, not employed by Celtic, but a non-executive. He goes between the club and the board, reporting news and requesting resources. They look at him and they look at his son and go, he's bringing in players at 6 million and we're selling them for 25 million.
It looks like
He's
that
bringing in,
City. That it
yeah,
looks like
they're
that City.
thriving.
Yeah, it looks like that City group has been broken. We used to obviously tap
Mm-hmm.
into the City market, and now it's the Benfica youth market. Um,
100%, Keith. I've said that before
and
as well. That pipeline's dried. But look,
it's
we are tapping Benfica's youth and look at our youth squad and we always complain about it. You know what I mean?
we should have went for Fergal Hark and we should have got that director of football, but they're not. They were
Mm-hmm.
they were never ambitious. The club are never ambitious. They don't like change. They like the whole job for the lads, and
Mhm.
money comes through. They announce that they're putting their wages up in the AGM because they brought a treble success. They've brought players in that have bring value. Let's be honest. Let's be really honest here. The jot of money was
Mhm.
put into the players that we brought in the summer. The money that we made in the transfer window, in the last transfer window, we were up money than actually spending money.
Mhm.
Point five
Yeah.
million. Like it's Idaguchi, we made money off him. I think it was 750 grand off Idaguchi. Turnbull was 2 million. And to be honest, I thought the Turnbull business was good business for Celtic. We bought him for around 3 million. Like
Mhm.
never.
Even right now, Keith. Right, I would understand the board coming out and being transparent and going, right, look, we have close to 80 million in the bank, right? We can't spend it now because the window's closed, but we have close to that. This is what the money's been used up. The transfers at the start of the season, I believe, was close to 9 million or something that was spent. And in that transfer
Mm.
window, we were actually in positive, as you says, with the sale of Turnbull and Idah going out. We were actually in positive bank balance for that transfer window. So they could say, like, okay, we were out 10 million in the summer and we embarked on the exercise to improve the training area at Barrowfield, where the indoor training and all that, that's going to cost us like 20 million. Let's ring fence 30 million and have that as a security. Anything above that, let's reinvest it into the squad. But it's not like that. You look at it and you ask yourself the question, why would a board continuously hold money, bumping up the prices of shares? You would think there was an interested party looking to come in and purchase the shares of the club, and they want premium rate for those shares. They want the club to be as in strong a position as possible. But there is
But
no interested. There's no interested parties.
um, Baz made a great point on his podcast the other night. Celtic fan view, folks. Baz was saying that there's two other majority shareholders that have over, I think it was 16 million, 16, is it
Hmm.
16 to 20 million in
Yeah, yeah.
shares of Celtic, and no one talks about them. Everyone puts the finger at Desmond because Desmond is the majority shareholder. At
Hmm.
the end of the day, we got to I love to see someone come in from the Middle East, or someone buys the club or some capacity, even like like you never know, a Fergus McCann, someone that's a Celtic fan that has millions upon millions in the bank and puts it into the club, and we see the money being used in the best resources. I know training facility and Barrowfield's getting done up, Lennoxtown's getting done up, and there's probably other stuff going on in the background that needs to be put the money into, but it's I am honestly I'm not I know you probably repeatedly hear me saying this all the time, but I'm not looking forward to the Champions League next season. I don't care about the
Hmm.
money. I just don't, there's no point of having us in the Champions League if we're not going to spend the money and actually challenge in some sort of aspect of. And what I mean challenge is actually try get out of the group, and because there's look at in the past with the players we had in the past and the managers we had in the past, and we still got out of a group with
Hmm.
20 million in the bank. Now we have three times the money. I know football's landscape is changed. Players are like divas. 1 minute they're playing top form, next minute they want to be off because they're having a hiff. And
Hmm.
I think footballers have got soft now over the years. I think that badass footballer. It's just because of, as you said, you get the agents that big it up, the media big it up, and O'Reilly will go. I think Riley will go. I think we'll get the 25 million for him
Hmm.
if he if
Plus,
he's form in the second half of the season, that might go down by 6 or 7 million. It just depends.
the only reason I see us fighting tooth and nail to retain O'Reilly, Keith, would be, I know he goes to the Euros with Denmark, and certainly his stock's going to
Mm.
rise after that. I can see him being featured there if his form does improve. So his stock's going to rise there, and that will be after the summer. So if a club approaches us with an offer that kind of encompasses that improvement and the fact that he's a Danish international, uh, then we could see him go upwards of 30 million possibly. But other than that, I can see he's trying to hold on to him. Matt O'Reilly himself having another dig at the Champions League with Celtic. And then if it doesn't go well, January window, last possible option, I would see him going then. If not
What's
in the
the point?
summer before.
What's the point having a dig at the Champions League if the quality's not around you and you're going into games and you feel like you're the inexperience there. Like, I know some of the players will have that 3 campaigns of in the Champions League with Ange and Brendan. People are saying in the comments tonight, saying stop Brendan, stop blaming Brendan's style of football. It is Brendan's style of football. We can blame the board as well, but the Brendan has to take some liability of how bad we're playing as well. If he's
Of
ambitious
course.
and he's been around long enough, he could change the system. He's worked with the managers like
Hmm.
Mourinho and stuff. He's been in a title race with Liverpool and stuff. He's won trophies at Celtic. And what makes me laugh was his press conference the other day saying, "Oh, he's going on like it's a crisis." Well, the
Hmm.
fans are looking at it in the bigger perspective. Brendan, we were 1 point at one point of the season where we were 8 points clear. 8 points clear.
Hmm.
And you're out of chat. You're well. We were still in the Champions League, but we had 1 or 2 games to play for. We're looking at a bigger perspective. That
It's got the feeling you turn up at the airport, Keith, and
mm,
you look out the airport window and you see that EasyJet pull up, and it looks all nice and calm at the start of the season, and then you get midway through the flight and look out the window, and the fucking duct tape started peeling off the wings, and you're going to the cabin and you're saying to the captain, "Look here, buddy, the duct tape's peeling off the wings. We look like we could be in trouble here," and he's gone, "Fucking nonsense." They're just ignoring you. It's like they can't see the writing on the wall. We can see the writing on the wall. We've seen it before. We've lived it before. We've been Celtic fans lifelong.
it
We've seen
doesn't.
the swings
Nick,
and throws of football.
Nicholas, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, did we get out of the Champions League? Were we in the Europa League? No, it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter, regardless of this. Oh, we pulled off a draw against Atletico Madrid. That was a good performance. Oh, we done well against Lazio. We done well against this. At the end of the day, did we get scalped against Atletico Madrid away, even though we went down to
No.
10 men?
See if anything, Keith, right, Nicholas. See if anything, you should look at that, right? You're in here and you're saying, look at the performance now, but look at the squad. Was it brutal against Atletico Madrid? No, it certainly was not. We were fantastic against Atletico Madrid. But that makes me look at this squad and what we are really capable of and what we are displaying right now, and makes me wonder what's going wrong between then and now. What's happening there? Where is the dysfunction? Because that's what the squad's capable of producing. They're capable of beating a pot 1 Champions League side, and also we are capable of being beat by Hearts at home. So that's a stark contrast there. No one's saying like we've not got faith in the squad, we don't rate any of these players. It's not that big a swing. We're just trying to put our finger on exactly what's going wrong and where it's going wrong, and how we as support and fans can influence any decision that might help in the future correct it.
Well,
It's
If Brendan's hyped up as he is, if he's a good man manager, regardless of the injuries or not, he should be getting the best out of the players that are available
Mhm.
and having faith in it. So if he knew this issue was happening, where he kept saying weeks upon weeks before the window opened, "Oh, we need to add a bit of quality, we need to assess this," and then he just changed his whole tone, talking about bringing youth players through. And look, we're all encouraging youth players, but look, if we really want to win the league, there's a time and a place when you bring the youth
Mhm.
in, and that's when
But
you
that's
come towards the end of the season. When you know you're going to have the league done, you say, right, we're going to put Mitchell Frame in. We're going to give Rocket Vata an extra half or an extra
mhm.
game or so. You know,
It's like that's indicative of Brendan this season, isn't it, Keith? He talks about developing talent, doesn't do it. Talks about building character, it doesn't happen. Talks about working with what he's got, he never does. You know what I mean? Talks about getting in quality, it never arrives. Talks about improving week on week and game on game. We've not seen it so far. But then that comment does come in and it harps back to the Atletico Madrid performance and how we've seen his performance in certain games. And I'm like, well, we have seen the performances. We know this squad has it in the tank. You know what I
hmm
mean? We're just trying to share it out of them. The support's not being overly negative. We're not entitled. We're not spoiled. We demand the best. You know what I mean? It's not when a guy walks into a restaurant and buys himself a bottle of wine at £100, you turn around and say to him, "Oh, you're entitled, or you're spoiled." No, the guy just demands the finest, and he's got the means to provide it. Everything in between that is our own personal bias and jealousy. You know what I mean, Keith? We have the
hmm
means to provide better than what we are seeing, and the squad actually has the capacity to provide better than what they are displaying, and that's what the support are saying.
Well,
Another crap
as
performance, hell
I
yeah.
know, yes, it was a crap performance, but at the end of the day, we could be looking at this at the end of the season, saying, "Well, that 3 points won us the league."
That is it. That see that there from Celtic 88 in chat as well. That is also a very fair point. Rodgers is only 13 wins away from finishing with 100 points.
Mm-hmm.
13 wins. That's what we need here. But it stands to reason from what we've seen for the squad this season, they've not really went on a more than 6 or 7 game run without drawing or losing. You know what I mean? Dropping points in some fashion. So is 13 wins in a row from now? Is that too much to ask for? Are we entitled in asking for that, Keith? I don't think so.
No,
I
we're
think
definitely not. We're
I
definitely
think we
not.
deserve it.
We do deserve because, as I said, there's a lot of players in that squad that have done in the past, and they know that if they have the fire in the belly and they want to push and get that last minute goal or that
Mm-hmm.
that famous free kick that we could capitalize and score from, or that penalty to do it. And like as I said, I think Celtic fans need to stop thinking about the 6th of April or the game against them. I think we need to think about what's in front of us every game and stop thinking about, oh, we will play them, we'll win the league. No, because if we lose points before that, that's when you say, oh, the league's shot.
I
As I
heard
said, I
someone
think
on the radio phone in Keith say we have outperformed Sevco when we've played them, and that's all that really matters because that's what the league's going to come down to.
no
But see,
nonsense.
at the
It's
end of the
not.
day, we're dropping points against other teams, and come the split, these are the teams that we've struggled against the most that we're going to face again. And that, for me,
100%.
that says it's double down in it. It's going to be double hard, and we're looking for the squad to show us that mentality. That's all we're looking for. And like even that James McCarthy, that one game, that one time James McCarthy played and put in that one challenge that broke forward
Again,
and we
St.
got that
Johnson,
one goal. And that's what
Giacomacca's
we
winner.
need, Keith. It's just that one, you know what I mean? We need that pivotal moment. We've not seen it yet. You know what I mean? We're just not that one. Here it is. And Idah scoring 2 tonight for the penalties. It gives me confidence that he's going to be a good player for us. You know what I mean? But at the same
Mhm.
time, I would rather have seen him rattle that one in from open play that crashed off the bar. You know, I'd rather have
Exactly,
seen him just
unfortunately.
absolutely net that bad boy.
But Maeda played well. I thought Maeda done a lot. Like his first game back, I know, like he was away in international duty, didn't play much for Japan, and
Mm-hmm.
CCV's back in 3 weeks. So I wouldn't rush him back, as I said. I just think what's trying putting him back in, and he gets injured again 2 weeks later. We just have to deal with what we have, and
It's spot
I
on.
know. But we'll move on. We'll move on to Sunday. Look, Kaiser, we can't, as much as we moan, we're not moaning about the game in general. I'm moaning about the whole situation the last 3 months, how this has been
Mm-hmm.
brewing, about the lack of activity in the window, the lack of service from
Mm-hmm.
Kyogo, the change of style of play, and then we have a midfielder that's valued high money. He's been off the grid. You're saying, like, Callum McGregor, he needs to step up as a leader. He steps up in the big games, but when it comes to these games like Hibs and all, there was points in the game where it's like he looks lost, and then his crunching tackles. We need more
Mm-hmm.
of him. We need to be more vocal. I know every captain has a different style, and he's
Mm-hmm.
nowhere near the way Scott Brown was. Scott Brown was completely different than Callum McGregor.
Mm-hmm.
And I was one of them people. I was like, I don't know if Callum can step up and be a captain, and he proved that he could. I just want him to do more of that. We want to see more of that. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes in Lennoxtown or when they're in that dressing room, but he needs
Mm-hmm.
he needs other players around him to help as well. He needs
Just
the
not
Joe
used to.
Hart. Mm,
As you say that earlier, Keith, I'm just not used to looking around the squad. And usually when we look around the squad, you see a captain in almost every position. You see a leader of men, people who stand up in a game and take control of it. And looking around the squad, I'm like, there's just not enough of that. Or the
mm.
people that are there that should be doing that are just not being vocal enough. Maybe a bit early for Liam Scales to be standing up and really taking that emphasis. Definitely Joe Hart should be a lot more vocal. Cal Mack, definitely 100%, regardless of his leadership style. There comes a time to tear the shirt off and start swinging it around your head. You know what I mean, Keith?
Mm.
There comes that time to show that aggravation. And other than that, I don't know if there is many other players in the starting 11 who I could look at other than Matt O'Reilly, maybe Bernardo, getting dug in and getting tore in about it and really bringing that hard work that's needed before anything else. I thought Bernardo was quite good tonight. He performed quite well. I seen his frustration on a video clip from the previous game when he was on the bench. And I
Hmm.
like to see that in him as well, that frustration.
But
Like,
that's it. You want to play for the badge and enjoy your football. At the same time, he wants to get that move away from Benfica, where
mm-hmm,
he's coming into a team where he's settled. He feels comfortable around Callum. He feels comfortable playing, linking up with Matt. he feels like he can go to another level, and
Mm-hmm.
you need that frustration from a footballer. You don't want to play like look at Abada tonight. He comes off the bench and he was absolutely rotten. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be one of them people that just judge a player for that one particular bad performance or two performances. I feel personally think that Abada's head is turned. I think his head is turned. He'll be wanting out in the summer.
In my own opinion, right, Keith, I wouldn't like to put too much pressure on Abada, right? Because I do like Abada, right? I think he's been a fantastic player for us, real cutting edge, and he provides something different. A lot of people I heard saying over time he's not a winger. I would love to see him go through the middle. I believe the international pressure he's suffered due to elements of the Celtic support being in
Mm.
line with the free people of Palestine has caused a disconnect. When I see Abada walking off when he's substituted, he never applauds the crowd. He never, like, not
Sure, he
everyone.
walked up the tunnel at full time at St. Miriam window.
He just walks right off, and I get that kind of. He's trying to be respectful to people in his homeland, and not necessarily be disrespectful. But
Mm.
when you're not interacting with the fans, when they're singing your name and they're glad to see you back, and it's a bit disrespectful. And I think his performance tonight was under par. What I'm used to seeing from Abada and what I've been hoping to see from Abada again is when he receives the ball, just exploit your pace, drive for the line and cut the ball back. That's what Kyogo's been lacking the entire season. Palma doesn't do it. Palma is forever cutting inside. He does not overlap and cross the ball. He doesn't hit the
Mm.
byline and cut it back. It's just not something that we've done enough this season. I think that's why Kyogo has suffered lack of service. And we've
Mm.
seen Kyogo score when we played against the Zombies, you know what I mean? Keith at Paradise. And he came out of nowhere and rattled one in and declared himself, this is a quality that I still have. I'm still this player. It's all still here. I just can't show it when he's not getting provided with the ball. So at the
Right, well,
same time, I was delighted to see Idah be handed the start. I think he was deserving of it. And Kyogo's been off form, you could say, or bereft of supply. But either way, I was glad to see a change, something changing.
my biggest message here, right, is regardless of who played bad and who played good, we all need to stick by the team as much as the football has been dire. We all need to stick by the team and have that fire in the belly and say, you know what, hopefully to go out and win a game. Let's go out and
Mm-hmm.
win this league because the negativity is not going to help us. We're going to have this divide. We're not going back to COVID days where half the fans are like keep Lenny, half them are against Lenny. And I don't want to happen with Rodgers where I know the evidence is there where people are saying we threw an 8 point lead, as I said, threw an 8 point lead. Football hasn't been great. Poor transfer window. Board are careless. Board are just filling their pockets. We need to be in it together. And as you go back to that point at Easter Road, the fans were in it there tonight, and some of the players are not up to scratch. But if Callum McGregor, if the manager, if he's really hungry and wants to win this league,
Mm-hmm.
I'd looking at the video clip or looking at the games tonight, and he just looks stressed out. He said, "I'm like, you know what?" I was like, "Brendan, you've been here for Premier League level. You've managed Celtic in Derby days. You've managed Celtic in Champions League games. Why do you look so stressed against Hibs? It's because he
Mm-hmm.
knows there's something going on in the background. He probably feels like he's being sold a bad bone, as I said so many times, a bad bone, and if he's not getting the promises and being delivered the tools, it's obviously going
Mm-hmm.
to fall apart somewhere."
That's it, Keith, mate. You're hitting it on the head in so many places there, bro. At the end of the day, where we are now, right? The window is past. The time for crying over spilt milk is over.
Exactly.
You know what I mean, Keith? How can we positively influence this squad and positively influence our title push? It's not by booing in the stands or shouting and screaming or protesting and being disappointed. It's by getting right behind the team and fully supporting them 100%. When the final ball is cooked, when all is said and done, we can take action. I believe there is action to be taken at higher level at the club. There's certainly stagnant boardroom and members of the board and members, certainly Peter Lawwell, sorry, just to name him just directly. I would like to see Peter Lawwell removed because when Peter Lawwell was not at the club, we saw startling growth. And as soon as he returned, we've seen that downturn again. It's just something that's indicative of a negative frame of mind at the club and within the support. I think would be best removed. I think the biggest signing, the biggest thing to happen right now, Keith, when we can't sign a player, would have been in the window bringing in a top name talent. But if no top name talent came in, would have been Peter Lawwell resigning. The entire support would unite and be absolute. We would form behind the club, and that's what we should be doing.
That's it. Like, at the end of the day, we're still in a good position here. We have 13
Keith,
games to
read
go,
that there.
folks.
Keith, that was a big one, mate. I had my ruler and everything out on the screen like
Yeah.
that.
I just can't wait for our next home game and show the board our feelings 100%. At the end of the day, they're I feel like they're getting away with murder. They may feel like they're pumping the money in, but I just feel like there is a broken connection. It's like the COVID days between the fans and the board. That connection is drifting away. And
Keith, there's a complete disconnect. See, when you think about it, right? See the upper echelons of power, right, at Paradise. They're in the boardroom, and their only contact with anyone below them is now the executive CEO, Peter Lawwell. Well, non-executive CEO, sorry, the independent entity that is Peter Lawwell. He's now the only contact between the running of the club, the day-to-day, the manager's concerns, shouting, screaming for players. He's the person who walks into the boardroom and addresses the board and asks them for the resources. Now, do we feel Peter is doing that? Do we feel he's up there and asking the way that the manager's asking, the way that the support are asking? Or do we feel he's going in there and going, all cooking, we've got enough, we've got 20, we've got a squad of 25 plus players. Never mind, we don't need to bring anyone in, maybe someone on loan for a striker and a wee right winger to cover over there, because this Vata looks like he's going to leave, and it's just the bare minimum. It's like a plaster over a bullet.
It's like going into the pound shop and buying cheap tape and trying to get on with it. That's exactly what it is.
100%, Keith, 100%.
But like, they know that there's so many players that are just not arsed, and then there's players that are fighting, and you need to have everyone on board, as we said. And most of all, we have our fans on board, and we'll look at Sunday and we hopefully win Sunday, and then we look at the next league game. And I think we need to stop thinking about the inner root of the problem. Just some fans will just want to see the football. I know the football has been boring to some fans, and it has been boring. I left Celtic Park was it 2 weeks ago, after the Ross County game, and I felt like we lost. I honestly felt like we lost, and it's not me being spoiled for choice saying, "Oh, I was expecting 4 or 5-0." It's just the football has been absolutely brutal, and it's
such a withdrawal, Keith, from Angie's "we never stop," swashbuckling, never say die, to Brendan's side to side. It's okay, I pass around. You know what I mean? I'm like,
exactly.
It's okay to pass. I believe it's okay, right? Brendan's style is okay to pass the ball and cycle it through play when you have players of intelligence who are capable of doing something special. You cycle the ball around the midfield, a midfielder will do something special. But with the missing, with Hatate being missing, he is that midfielder who takes that risk and plays that forward pass as well. With Hatate being missing, and other players in the squad just seem to be looking to retaining possession. No one's looking to craft anything.
Mark
my
words, even if Rodgers wins the league and the Scottish Cup, I think it will be a mutual agreement he will leave in the summer, because I don't think he's going to get what he wants.
I see that. I see that as well, Keith. I feel that as well.
And I think this time around, some of the fans actually, some fans are on board and saying, I can understand why he would leave, because if he's being sold a fucking false dummy like the last time, the last transfer window. What do you expect? You're going into a club with 70 odd million in revenue, and you're not even spending even 3 or 4 million in the transfer window. You're clearing out players. It's laughable, and the style of football is laughable. The broken connection there, the divide between fans. This season can either become better or worse. And at the moment, we're literally on the fence from a disaster if we lose games. If we win games, everyone keeps their mouth shut. We'll get on with it week by week, and then hopefully count down to the last 10 games, then count down to the derby. But there's a lot to play for. Getting players back, getting the system.
It's not only that, Keith, innit? It's like you says there, bro, we're skating on a razor's edge. That's the way it feels right now, right? And even when we're on top, right now we're on top, we're sitting top of the mountain, and we're worried about the inevitable fall. It's not just about the fall, it's about how we pick ourselves up for that as well. What do we have to cling on to reassess and drive forward? Well, as much as I say, I think we're capable of driving forward and getting the business done. Should we fall behind? I don't really know if we're capable of putting in the kind of performances to drag us back on top.
And,
I think we're
and this
best keep
sounds
our nose in
crazy.
front.
Sounds crazy. And look, Nicholas Cunn didn't have a good game tonight. He came on well against Aberdeen, and he scored that goal. I forgot about Nicholas Cunn because that is the transfer window summed in one. We weren't excited. We were let down. As Kaiser said it before on another channel, you get someone in for half that's bought for 500,000 less than 2 years ago, and he's bought for 3.5 million. Celtic boasted up this guy like a Messi. Boasted up the big PR thing. They boasted up that Atate's return. They boasted up about it done because it's penny pinching tactics. They won't go out and actually get a bit of quality. With that 7 or 10 million, they could have went out and actually got a striker long term. They could have got a left
100%.
back. It's just there's a broken divide there between the manager and the board. And let's be honest.
As I says to you, Keith, bro, it's just indicative of the board are looking at the facts and figures. Like, say they come into their work once every 6 months at Paradise, and they look at the facts and figures, and everything is in the green. It's going swimmingly. They're all giving each other a big bonus and a pat in the back. And then the recruitment team are looking at the players that they're bringing in. And okay, there's a lot of chaff still at the club that hasn't moved or been developed yet. But the players that they have developed and have moved have been for top rate prices. So they're all when they're sitting fucking Catalina wine mixer and high-fiving each other and eating shiitake mushrooms. And
Wolf of Wall
there.
Street kind of feeling there.
Yeah, 100%, Keith, and they're all swaggering about the office, high-fiving each other, and Brendan's on the front lines, reporting back, going, look, I need more quality, we need more people in here, we need something to get this done. And there's just a disconnect, there's a disjointedness between the reality that is Celtic and the boardroom and recruitment team, between people who are fans and people who say they are fans.
Why is he thinking that far ahead of thinking about winning the league? You got to take every game as it comes. Like, I hate people that think too far ahead. Oh, it'll be all forgiven about when we win the league. It's not just about winning the league. It's about thinking about moving forward as a club with the project of the players, developing players, getting the right man in, suiting the system. Because at the moment, as much as I want Rodgers in, the football is not exciting, and we have fallen back 2 steps from Ange style football, from mentality, from winning games, from picking games. And look, it was a late penalty tonight that won us the game. But look, how many times have we actually won the game late this season? Not many of them compared to the previous season before that.
Exactly. I was sorry, Keith, bro. I was away a million miles away laughing at Chilpo in the comments there with the Carpenter song, you know, on top of the league. It's a form that we've lost since Brendan was the boss, or since Brendan came around. It's not the form that we have found. It's the form we are failing to find. But yeah.
We didn't get lucky. We didn't get lucky under Ange. Ange came in. He had his style of football. He walked the players to the socks, and we seen the forced
we manufactured our own luck under Ange, Keith.
Look at the mess. Look at the mess that was left after Lenny left. It was an absolute shambles. He cleared out Oyer, he cleared out Edward, he cleared out Christie. He brought players in like Yakamakis, CCV, Jota, and they all won our hearts within a couple of months. This is what I'm talking about. We don't have that. Brendan didn't get these players in and say, right, this is my player. This is my new Scott Sinclair. Palmer is my new Scott Sinclair. And we're gonna put the arm around him and let him win us games. It's just football
Brendan has
so.
Not been backed.
He hasn't been back, and the same time, his football is not exciting. So if he wants to show exciting football like he did back in the past of the 2017 season and 16 season, he needs to get the tools as well, and he needs to move on with the game, because you see what happened with Leicester as well. It went to absolute down south with Leicester. They end up getting relegated. So hopefully.
It's confusing. It borders on madness for me, right, Keith? Because when I think of Brendan Rodgers, right, I think of a manager who is tactically astute, who can make in-game changes, who's an elite level, if not elite level, in the respect of like a Pep Guardiola and Jose Mourinho, elite level in the aspect of player development as well. For the way he manages players, the way he puts his arm around a player and develops a player. And then I look at Celtic's midfield and the young players that we have around, and I just think the footballing talent and like young Home, Callum McGregor, Matt O'Reilly, Bernardo, the footballing talent that we actually have there, the styles of football that we could be playing, it's just staggering that Brendan is so fixated on his own style. I mean, we all criticised Ange for not having a plan B. What's plan B? Do plan A better. What's Brendan's plan B? It just seems to be Brendan ball. What's plan B? Brendan ball a bit
100%.
faster. You know what I mean, Keith? We're sick of it. We're looking for this evolution. We were looking for a balance between what we've seen from Ange, attacking guile sense, forward play, exciting football, and a more pessimistic when we met a higher quality opponent. So like when we were playing in Europe against higher quality opponents, we were looking for a more pessimistic approach. But when we were playing domestically, we were looking to go gun-ho. Basically, Celtic should be playing a 2-4-4 domestically because there's no attacking threat that we face. We should just pin teams back and utterly crush them. In my opinion.
This is the last question and the last answer to this before I jump off. It's good to have you on tonight, Kaiser. To be many of these. That's
Sorry,
the
bro, I'm a
extent of
gab.
that's the extent of a recruitment, because it's a job for the boys that you can't even rate the last two transfer windows. You probably put them down as a 3 or 4 because it's just down to poor business, and that's not being disrespectful down to the players where they're coming from and their experience. It's just down to the recruitment system where they're not being ambitious and saying, right, I think we have a good guy here. I think we could actually get this guy in for maybe 4 or 5 million, and we could actually, because let's be honest, we spent nearly 7 million on the Roski and Larga Bielka, and look at Larga Bielka, as you said, Starfeld's agent. He wants to go to Lecce. He wants to get minutes under the belt, and that's what it is. But we'll move forward. Hopefully, we'll move forward in the summer. There needs to be a shake-up, and that's the biggest fear the Celtic fans have. They don't feel like the board are going to do a shake-up because they're too comfortable sitting on the Wolf of Wall Street mentality.
Keith, I seen on social media, bro, Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter, I seen inflatable sharks that are remote controlled, bro. And I'm buying myself one for this home game coming up. See that I'm going to be flying sharks around the stadium if things don't improve. I'm going to be over there trying to eat Peter Lawwell. But yeah, 100%, bro. Like,
you won't be the only one.
Understand that resolute feeling. Look, we can all look and we all know where it's went wrong. We can all see where it's went wrong, right? But it's not about where it's went wrong. It's about getting behind the team at this stage. You know what I mean? And people can call you a happy clapper and say, oh, you're happy clapping. You're not showing that you're disgruntled. No, we are certainly showing that we're disgruntled. But at this stage, all we can do is support the players that we have and give it our all.
Exactly. There's like 60 odd people in here, and they're all showing different emotions. There's some are like, football's been brutal, Brendan's fault, Bar's fault.
Thank you,
Keep the
60, for being
faith.
here. You know what I mean? Legends.
And there's all emotions there, and that's fine to have these emotions. But folks, what we'll do is we're gonna leave it there. It's almost midnight. The 3 points are in the bag. You can go to work tomorrow and feel more relaxed. You might get sticks saying, "Oh, penalty, Celtic, penalty this." Forget about them. It's about us.
It's about time.
It's about us. We're still the championship. We're still top of the league. We're still 3 points clear. At the end of the day, there's a lot of football to be played. That other mob have Europe to contend for. They're in another competition which they be tired. And at the end of the day, we have Saturday games to contend for. So time will tell. There will be bumps and bruises on the way in the next.
We'll be back soon. We'll be back soon.
We'll be back as much as people are not that. Oh, it might be good for it. Oh, because there's a bit of competition with Idah.
I think Idah will take O on leaps and bounds. Keith, see his physicality and his pace. Just thinking of O learning from Idah and a bit of competitive nature between those two. I'm like, I'm amped for that fight. I'm like, I'm amped for that. You know what I mean? I think O's got a bit of talent about him. All the legends in the chat. Thank you for being here, right? Supporting my main man, Keith. Make sure you're smashing like, hitting subscribe, sharing the channel to your social media. Help my man grow. And as Keith always says, if you're over there on Facebook, go over here to YouTube. We're always in the comments on YouTube, making points, commenting. It's always very active. Go over here, get in the pool. You'll see us all in there. Legends.
Exactly. Well, we'll try to get on to Celtic World soon with the lads and have a chat, which is, as I said, it's just the
100%,
timing.
Keith.
Timing is a bit difficult at the moment with going back and forth. But well, I might chat to you on Saturday night, Kaiser. We'll talk about a preview before St Mirren, the Scottish Cup. But folks, good luck to Scott Brown as well on Saturday,
Hell yeah.
as well in the Scottish Cup. So look, we'll leave it there. 3 big points tonight. Let's move on.
Yeah,
Box ticked. That's the most important
that's it.
thing. Scrappy win, but it's the most important thing.
Stay blessed, legends. Pale
Speak
ale.
to you soon.